I mean, I guess that's the magic of how we're doing the episode now, is you can maximize your ADHD,
Yeah, exactly.
I
technically.
mean,
I have
I
4
don't think I
monitors
should.
now.
You have
Oh,
four.
he's so
I only
powerful.
have two set up.
I've
I
got
have
the
access to
laptop.
4.
Yeah, I've got the
5.
laptop right now, which is fine, but expecting to go back to the US when I have 3 monitors, but if the government doesn't allow me back in, I'm gonna have to buy more monitors because one screen is bullshit.
True.
But yeah, speaking of that, so kind of funny thing. So I've been shopping at Asda because that's just the local grocery shop closest to the flat I'm staying in. And just for like travel security, I've been paying for things through my PayPal card because PayPal gets accepted pretty much everywhere. For some fuck reason, this only happens at Asda. Every time I buy something there, it requires a signature on top of doing a chip and pin, like pin code thing.
What?
And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But then after that, it flags me again to call over a cashier to confirm my signature. Which, okay, fine. I'm traveling. I have a foreign debit card. Okay, cool. The problem is PayPal doesn't provide on US PayPal cards a space for you to put a signature. They haven't for a while. And the state of Indiana also doesn't have a thing on our IDs for a signature. And I have the real ID, like the newest one. Yeah. So it's like super official, has the holographic like Formula One car, all that shit.
Yeah.
No signature. So I just have to deal with some random Scottish person coming up. I make sure I throw on as much of an American accent as I can just to like be like, I don't know why this is happening. I'm sorry. And they're like, do you have anything with a signature? And we've gone through all of my cards and all of my IDs. Nothing in the US has things for signatures anymore.
Oh my god.
So they have nothing to compare my signature to. But I've had to do this so often that like all of the clerks now in the evening shift know me.
So they're just
So
like,
they
all
just
right, hi.
yeah, we're all just like, hey, I'm sorry. And they're just like, yeah, it's just the ritual now. And about half of them, when I handed them my ID and they saw it was for Indiana, they went, oh, Indiana, like in Stranger Things?
Oh boy.
Damn it.
So I got stuck in a Stranger Things conversation multiple times.
Damn it.
It's cool when
I'm
that
just like-
happens to me because I never watched it, so I have literally nothing
Yeah.
to say. My response would
Like-
be like, maybe.
I mean, Indiana has a lot of spooky shit in it, so I'm happy to talk about that. But I'm just like, yeah, dude, I only watched the first season, and after that, I kind of zoned out.
Yeah, same.
And considering how mad the internet has been about that season finale, I'm like, I chose wisely. Hell yeah. So yeah, it's weird because usually when I travel to the UK and people see I'm from Indiana, they go, "Oh, like the Indy 500," because they know the race.
Yeah. But
Which I
instead
did
we have
have
a
to-
psychic girl.
A fake, not real psychic girl. And it's like,
Yeah.
Who's a teenager at like 25 now.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh my god, I I don't know, man. I it's hard for me to give that much of a fuck about certain pop culture things, considering other things that are happening in the world. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't give a fuck. They're just, aren't you mad about this thing? And I'm like, I have to deal with the
Why do I
fact that, yeah, it's like my tummy hurts and I'm mad at the government, and I have to deal with the fact that like a bunch of chud fucks think that their speak and spell can replace my artistic talent. Like I couldn't give less of a fuck. These dumb fucks that are afraid of a ghost snake that doesn't exist.
A ghost snake that doesn't exist.
Yeah, because if I mention Roscoe's basilisk, this
It's
episode
over.
now has become an information hazard, and we have to burn it to the ground.
Alright, well, we can just restart the recording over. That's fine.
Damn it, no. We just got started. Damn it.
That's fine. This is all fine.
Is it?
Yeah, I guess I could say, hey, and welcome to Blank Bodies, a Vampire the Masquerade tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and I'm joined by...
John. This is John. And that one,
Yes.
I can't point
This
at
one's
you
Sarah.
because you are across a far distance.
I mean, you can point. It's just, are you pointing into the camera, or are you going to point, like, geographically, like you're trying to get to Mecca?
I'm going to point at you on my screen.
Hey, yo.
You can't see me, but that's it.
Yeah, it's like, is the real us on the screen, or is the real us in the meat space?
I mean, I recently fell
Are
asleep watching The Matrix, so I don't know anymore.
are our true selves the version of ourselves that we present, or yeah, philosophical things. Anyways, this episode's about ghosts.
Woo!
Ooh, it's the start of our Hakata month because all of the bloodlines deal with ghosts, ghouls. I won't say goblins because that's not a thing, but various forms of the undead. So
Yeah, we're not playing
I,
Changeling.
yeah, not yet.
Ugh.
I, that's the setting for WoD that I'm like the most uncomfy with, but that's because I have uh like Gallic trauma with changelings. I'm like, no, I'm good. Mm-mm, mm-mm. People in the States are like, oh, this is whimsical and fun, and I'm like, no,
This
this thing's
takes your
gonna,
family.
yeah, I was like, this thing is gonna ruin your crops and fuck your wife, like, and that's the best case scenario.
So give it some milk.
Well, good news.
Give it milk and honey.
I don't have crops, so do your worst.
Yeah, get fucked, fairy.
I can't tell the difference between the actual plants my roommate planted and the weeds. I'm not allowed to touch anything growing outside
mm.
of this home. Unless it's like a
It sounds,
pepper. I know because I eat those. But otherwise, anything going
yeah.
outside, if it's not grass, I don't handle it.
Seems like you have your own Garden of Eden back there, where it's like you have the forbidden plant. You must not consume of it.
Oh, I can
But
eat all the peppers I want. They're just super hot, so they're not fun to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
nibble a Carolina Reaper, just yes, the forbidden fruit. Uh anywho. So ghosts, spirits, and souls and whatnot. This episode we're covering various forms of the undead, how these entities fit within the world of darkness cosmology, and things that these could mean for your stories. Ooh.
Huzzah!
Thought this would be a good transition because sometimes things that are not the Hakata do deal with ghosts, but the Hakata is primarily just like, what if it's a corpse? What if I
What
fuck
if it
with
is a
that?
corpse?
What if indeed?
What
Um,
if indeed? I mean, aren't we all corpses?
uh, truly, every
I mean,
day,
if you're a
just closer to
Hakata,
the
then
grave.
like you have to,
They're,
in order to be Hakata, you have to be dead.
are
So
they
it's really just
truly
a bunch
dead
of
though?
corpses messing around with other corpses or the spirits that used to be in said corpses.
Yeah. Is it necrophilia if you two are also dead?
Hmm,
Hmm.
that is a good question.
I think if both parties are dead, I feel like it's kind of a flat line.
Yeah,
It's kind of
but
morally
it's
neutral.
oh, we're not talking about Giovanni yet. I was about to say, but it's still incest. So
Yeah. We'll get to that soon. So our sources are the core book for V5, the Player's Guide, Cult of the Blood Gods, Blood Sigils, Tattered Facade. Ooh. Doom Slayers Into the Labyrinth, Mage the Ascension, second edition, Mage 20th anniversary. There's also Wraith the Oblivion 20th anniversary. I also did some extracurriculars with Do Natura Rerum by Paracelsus.
that
Yeah.
those were
Into the
words, all of
Occult
them.
Proof of the Metaphysical Reality of the Will and the Paranormal of Schopenhauer by Esoterica. And The Robot Body and the Uncanny Horror of AI Hallucinations by Sarah Davis Baker, which I highly recommend her video essays. Those are pretty dope. The Process of Dying and the Cosmology of World of Darkness.
Oh, okay.
I thought I'd start the year off with a light topic.
Woohoo!
I mean, oh, before I forget, before we actually get into it, because I'm out of it, and I apologize, everyone. Content warnings: death, existential threats, esoteric themes, enslavement, bodily fluids, decomposition, and harm to animals.
Oh no, that last one is the
Good
only
news.
one that I'm worried about.
Yeah, the
Bodily
rituals are
fluids
fucked
is
up.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the
they're
rituals are
fucked.
fucked up. That's
They're very
all I
fucked.
gotta. Yeah, good news though, no genocide this episode.
Yay!
Hey,
We finally did
Yo!
it.
we finally did it.
Well, again, we
Anyways.
haven't gotten to the actual clans in the Hakata yet, so
Yeah, it's fine. Ghosts. So death.
Ghosts!
Starting with a light topic, the nature of the human soul. So
Totally not heavy.
for good or bad in World of Darkness, the soul exists just mechanically. It just exists. This is something that
Wait, did they
You know.
stat the soul?
Not really,
Okay,
thankfully,
good.
not that I've found. But mechanically, it has to exist because there's things like Diablerie, Wraiths, the Quaisian. There's a lot
Right.
of magics that exist in various splats that actively just do damage to the soul, including 5th edition. Uh, there's also reincarnation potentially, depending on what you're including and not including in your game. So because of all those things, mechanically souls exist. Uh, Now, what the nature of the soul is and various other things like that aren't solidified, so you can have that as debates in your game. If you want to have souls being potentially a question mark in your game, that's something you're setting up at your table. But personally, I just think it's funnier to have to deal with characters that go, so the soul exists. Like, it's just a thing. We've agreed on this. And, like, what does that mean? So,
Yay.
yeah. So there's no, yeah, because of ghosts and wraiths existing, there's no quibbling on the, it just, what happens when you die? It's like, actually, we know exactly what happens. So,
One of
no
these three
mystery.
things.
Yes. So thing that I wanted to bring up real quick because it gets talked about a bit because when you're dealing with especially like blood sorcery stuff and vampire, the more I'm reading it, especially in 5th ed, it looks like a lot of it is priming people for mage.
Mm,
So I have to talk about it a little bit. I am so
okay.
sorry. Uh so the thing with mage is there are 9 different spheres, which are 9 different like flavors of magic is the best way I think to explain it. Hunter, feel free to correct me because you're a little bit more steeped in mage than I am. But there's the 9 spheres. I jokingly say there's the 10th sphere, which is gun. But we don't have to
Mm-hmm.
worry about that right now. Um thing that has tripped me up for a long time, so I think it might trip up other people, is the difference between entropy and spirit, because those are 2 different spheres.
Yes.
Which when you're talking about ghosts gets a little confusing. So basically, spirit, energy, and prime, which are 3 different spheres, are known as the primordial spheres. We're not talking about prime. Get rid of that for now. So spirit is the sphere that's tied in with the Umbra, so all the werewolf friends can peek their little heads up. So spirit's tied in with things like hopes, dreams, creativity, the potential, things beyond the material, animism, a lot of like crunchy, hippie, woo-woo kind of thought processes, and like astral realms. And then you have entropy, which is more tied in with oblivion, fortune, chaos, luck, destiny, patterns, destruction, fate, and choice, and all of it's kind of morbid.
Cool.
So the thing that's annoying is those 2 things will be spoken in about in the same fucking sentence constantly. So you'll be like, oh yeah, the entropic nature of da da da, but then the spirit did this, and you're like, what the fuck? So you're gonna get your reading comprehension tested if you decide to dig into these things in your games with any kind of serious depth, because those 2 spheres are mechanical things that are different and they do different things, but they're also words that are used interchangeably depending on what part of the cosmology you're talking about.
Great. That's
Yeah,
exactly what we need.
that's
Let's make mage more confusing.
Well, it's not so
yeah, but
much
then
a
it
mage problem, it's more a problem that the writers for all the other systems just use those words to mean whatever they wanted them to mean. So
Mm.
mhm.
they have a very specific meaning, but if you're reading a vampire book talking about ghosts, when they say spirit, it means something different than changeling, and mage
And
means
werewolf and
spirit. It's kind of just
yeah.
all the authors kind of went in their own corners.
Yeah. I guess
And
that's a good point because even like
Mhm.
everything is Caldonic sorcery, sorry. But like even with Caldonic sorcery, it's like you have the Laleks, which are nature spirits, but they're not like the nature spirits the werewolves deal with, but they hang out in the exact same fucking spots and do very similar things, but they're different.
Mhm.
It's like that.
Yeah. It's if you're somebody who is like an occultic nerd like me, it's fun because it does such a good job of mirroring like occultic texts that you can research. And you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
ah, it's the same thing, but it's not. And if you get them confused, a wizard might challenge you to a duel at some point. Uh,
In the street.
in the street. Well, not in the street. We have the internet now. They're just gonna yell at you in the comments section and throw a weird hex on you, and that's kind of it. Because they're pussies. Uh,
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure that that base of knowledge is given because these words will be used interchangeably. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do about the sun. Uh, so death. Most folks that are human will die, and when you die, you kind of just very quickly process your own death, like mentally and emotionally, and then you move on, and then that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. In the text that I have found, supposedly when times in the world are calm, it is estimated only 1 in 20 souls eventually becomes a wraith, which is when your soul doesn't quite move on, and then you go to the ghost zone.
The ghost zone.
Wraiths often seek to transcend, which results in them having to accept their death, processing their emotions, and tied in with their ego as well as their death, and then moving on to the afterworld. What the fuck the afterworld is? Big shrug. Who the fuck knows? Meh.
Yeah, we're gonna pretend like demon doesn't exist. That's probably the closest there is an answer to that, and we just don't need to deal with it.
and,
I was
and
talking.
even then,
Yeah.
go ahead.
I was talking with some people the other day too, and there's like a good chance we're just not gonna get a D5.
Yeah, probably not.
Every version of Demon's been very different and anyway, and I feel like we'll see. Who knows?
We'll see. And I mean, if you want to stick it in your table, do it.
Looks horrified over a demon the fallen.
I mean, look, you can do things at your table as you wish. That doesn't mean that table is for everyone, and
This is
that's
true.
fine. Just make sure it's clearly labeled, and you're not a dick about it. So, that's what happens with death. Most people, when you die, you just immediately Bethesda no clip to the afterworld. Most people are boring. Occasionally, you get a guy who's got something that means they don't fully pass on, and then that's we'll get into more details on that. I just needed to make sure that process was understood.
I will say 1 in 20 is still pretty frequent.
Yeah, it's
like that's still a lot.
Yeah, the thing I do like about Wraith is they leave it very, very open for what your unfinished business could be.
It could literally be like, I had that fucking loaf of bread I needed to deliver to Susan.
Well, it's like, but why did you want to deliver that loaf of bread to Susan? It's like, oh, you had unrequited feelings for Susan because of childhood trauma.
And she really liked sourdough.
You know what? Sourdough fucks.
Yeah, I can't blame.
It really does.
It really do, though. I fucking love bread.
No. Can you
Ignore
see the
me
shock in my
constantly
face?
baking bread. It's like, I'll probably make a focaccia later. I mean, hell yeah. So, vampires, blood sorcery, and spirits. So, most vampires cannot see or perceive the Umbra, the Shadowlands, Wraiths, none of that shit. So, for most of your vampire games, that this will just never come up outside of like, oh yeah, I heard a guy maybe fucked with a ghost. I don't know. Shrug.
Watch out.
There's even probably a lot of vampires that don't even believe any of that shit's real.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I ain't never
considering
seen
they
a
can't
ghost.
perceive it. Yeah. It's like, yeah, vampires
I got special
exist,
eyes. I
werewolves
can
exist.
see real good. I can see the veins on that leaf across the street. I ain't seen no ghost. They ain't real.
Surely that can absolutely happen and be completely a canon. Like, yep. Though Auspex does allow for some people to see beyond the material plane and maybe even interact with it, but that's something you more have to like choose that path to pursue with your character build. It's not something that's just guaranteed.
Right.
So you could have a character that's like really into Auspex, but that's not the portion of Auspex they really delve into. So you could have an interesting character dynamic where one player character does very material aspects and the other one does very woo-woo, I've seen beyond the realms of time and space.
I astral projected to 3-eye Atlas.
Yeah. And like that whole dynamic alone could be an interesting part of your guys' like story and character dynamics, but you know,
I like it.
there's also Oblivion, which can grant those who wielded the ability to perceive wraiths and things beyond into the Shadowlands. Oblivion is very I'd say Auspex is very wide perception but not very deep in terms of like what not material world stuff you can kind of perceive and interact with, where Oblivion is you're doing one track but you can go all the way down if you so desire.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Very literally
Like,
in some cases.
yeah, quite literal. It could be if you have a game where players really want to delve into this shit through Vampire, there's some stuff from old books you might need to port over, but that's fine. It's doable. So the kind of wonk with that though is Oblivion, because it's combining the old obtenebration as well as the old necromancy disciplines. Basically, Oblivion is like a weird hybrid discipline that kind of gets into blood sorcery.
Yeah.
Uh, it's one of those, the more I've read into the cosmology and dug into the older books, I can see why the editors did what they did with Oblivion. I just wish this was like better explained to like the general public, because it kind of seems psychotic and messy.
Yeah.
When
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
just
it's
like,
cool
yeah,
because
these
they're
two got
both
slammed
tied to
together.
the same place. Like, they're both
Yeah.
tied to Oblivion. So, like, using Oblivion to summon spirits makes sense. Using Oblivion
Mhm.
to summon shadow tentacles makes sense. But they're two
Mhm.
very different schools of magic, quote unquote.
Yeah, it's like they go to the same realm, but they kind of delve with different areas of it. And when you
Mhm.
don't have that explained, it makes the way the discipline rollout is seem very arbitrary. So, hi, we're here to help with that.
Hey.
So when you dig into the older traditions, necromancy is basically its own like blood sorcery path. That has various like sub practices that are honed by the various bloodlines and factions. So that's why if you dig into the old books for necromancy to go get ideas for your Hakata characters, you're going to see a bunch of options. It's
Mhm.
and a lot of them are very tied to this goes with this discipline or this discipline goes with this clan specifically, and it's only taught to these guys and it's super secret.
Yeah.
So how secret those things are now for your tables, you decide at the speed of your plot, I suppose. Kind of the best way to break this down in the simplest of terms, necromancy in modern times basically gets split into two schools of thought, which is there's the authority path, which is very much in the kind of Abrahamic Christian doctrine of, well, God has power over man, man has power over the land and beasts. So, by that logic, the living have power over the dead.
Okay.
It's kind of, yeah, it's kind of how, like, how a lot of Christians and some other spiritual practitioners, particularly Christians, believe that they're able to do like exorcisms, is because, well, God has given me this divine power to have power over the dead and demons and so I can tell
Mhm.
it to get the fuck out of my house.
Get out of here, ghost.
That's
Get
get out of here, ghost. Go on now.
Go
Or
on
if you're
out, get.
Catholic, it's like, well, God gave power to the Pope, and both has with me with the power to get rid of this demon. So I'm like, okay, got a weird middleman, but that's fine.
Delegating power. Okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah, well, it's like, well, the new Pope does raves now, which is I don't know if you've seen
Cool.
that shit.
No, I have not, but now I
Yeah,
want to.
it's been interesting, and I think it's, I don't know, maybe that shit's hit my feed more because like I am closer to Europe right now. But yeah, like there's whole rave sets run by the Vatican that you can just go watch. They've saved the live stream of, so you can just go watch that shit.
Interesting.
I haven't sat and listened to a whole set. I might do it. But the little clips I've caught, I was like, the the bishop or whoever they got running to be the DJ so far, I'm like, yeah, he seems competent, so that's good. It's just really funny to see somebody's kind of portly, bald looking dad in a priest collar at the DJ booth with like one headphone being like held up to his skull. So that's the time we live in. So that's the authority school. And then the taboo school of thought is cultural practices or rituals that hold power. So by breaking those taboos, particularly around the dead and death rites, the necromancer can wield power for their own use.
Okay. So we're going to do some
Yeah.
weird and gross shit.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I think that's interesting in so far as like it's very left hand path or chaos magic kind of schools of thoughts where it's like I am enacting the force of my own will upon reality, and
Mhm.
I'm enacting my force of will so hard that I am shattering other people's notions of what the world is, and therefore that release of energy is what allows me to do what the fuck I'm doing. So yeah, if you're somebody who wants to get into these kinds of things, that might be something to consider for your story writing. Is like, how is your character interacting with their Oblivion necromantic powers, and do they fall in these two schools of thoughts? Do they do a third option? If you got somebody who's newer and they're not entirely sure what they're doing, there's a bunch of old edition material about this that I think is worth really looking into. But I'm going to give you the caveat of, especially because of the taboo breaking school of thought, a lot of the old necromancy rituals are really graphic and really fucked up. So big content warning. This is not,
Huge.
yeah, this is not, Sarah's being courteous of people in the general audience and giving a content warning. This is like, I've seen necromantic rituals that I have had to bring up to other friends of mine in a LARP that we're in to be like, hey guys, I think because of the way the LARP is, you need to change this. Just the name of this ritual alone is fucked up. I am happy to workshop with you guys on a way to make this ritual mechanically still work, but change the fluff because
Yeah, this is unacceptable.
this is unacceptable in Year of Our Lord 2024-2025. So yeah, just wanted to give that warning if that's something people are looking into. But the TLDR with all of that is ceremonies and rituals are very analogous to each other in the way that they work. So if you wanted to take the rules from the Blood Sigils books to convert or write your own Oblivion ceremonies, you can do that. And especially because Obtenebration is wrapped in with Oblivion and Necromancy, if you want to pull up old Abyssal Mysticism stuff and some of the other rites and rituals that are all tied into that, there's a pathway for you to do that if you so desire. Huzzah. Gonna briefly touch on Duran Kai, which is the blood sorcery, where basically that is one where the practitioner of this blood sorcery is communing with and making bargains with spirits.
Okay.
I'm in for it.
Yeah, this one is tied in way more with the Bana Hakim, but it doesn't necessarily have to be only them because this practice dates back to like pre-Mesopotamia in terms of blood sorcery. It's just the Bana Hakim are the ones who have like kept records of this and have been continuing this practice and evolving it over the eons. But
That's cool. Go them.
yeah. But I'm like, if you wanted to have, a minister or set type character have something that's kind of similar,
Oh, that'd be
I
kind of
think
cool.
that's fine. That could be kind of cool. But with these sorcerers, because they're communing with spirits and entities that exist not only just out in the world, where it would be, things like jinn or wind spirits or various other kinds of things, they can also commune with the spirits within their own vitae.
Pardon me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So is
Hi,
that
welcome
like
Mm-hmm.
if you've diablerized people, you can talk to those spirits? Is that like your
Mm-hmm.
vampiric ancestors? Is that like
Mm-hmm.
just all the random humans you've eaten?
Yeah.
Really? That counts as all of it?
Yeah,
That's intense.
it's
I like
very
it.
intense. It's stuff that's come up now more specifically through blood sigils and tattered facades that I think is like really, really interesting in terms of the world of darkness cosmology, because it's like, oh, vampire vitae is powerful enough, or it has power in a way where it has its own spiritual entity in it.
AKA the beast.
And yeah, there's the beast, and it seems like there's also like other things that could live in there too.
Oh my.
It has now strayed into what I am really excited about, which is this kind of almost like eldritch horror kind of thing where there are potentially multiple entities inside of the power of your blood that is potentially willing to whisper to you, or if you reach out to it, it might respond back, and you can uh have conversations with it to get secret knowledge or gain power, but like at what cost?
I like it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'll make deals
I'm
with
like,
my blood. It's my blood anyway, you know? That's like making a deal with myself.
Uh-huh. Nothing bad will happen from this.
It literally can't. Come on, it's my blood.
Literally cannot. So, a couple other ones real quick. I'm just going to skim over because they deal with spirits of sorts, which there's the old Ogham blood sorcery, which was done by the Lianan, which were the bloodline of the gangrel that were specifically tied to the earth and the land. They were vampires that were able to commune with spirits, but they were able to commune with spirits much more in a way that was akin to how like werewolves do.
Mm-hmm.
But supposedly that bloodline is extinct, so do with that information what you will.
How'd they become extinct?
They basically went extinct after the Dark Ages, and it kind of comes down to uh, capitalism and industrialization is what killed them.
Bet. Okay, so they're pretty much just like werewolves. Got it.
Yeah, it's like, what a vampire, but also werewolf, but also kind of a bog witch.
I'm in.
Sounds cool
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Leonid are super fun. And then there's Daimonian and Dark Thaumaturgy, which are both blood sorceries that deal with demons.
Oh my.
Specifically. Daimonian is the discipline that was specifically for the Bali, but it was also a blood sorcery. It was weird. Stuff with the Bali is fucking weird. Also, another
Always.
gigantic content warning of they have rituals that require the use of sexual assault and things like that. So like it's sketchy and gross.
Get to that someday. Today is not the day.
Today's not the day, but it's one of those like, hey, if you're dealing with ghosts and spirits and demons, this may come up, but also warning, some of it's really fucked up because it was written by edgy folks in the 90s and the aughts, so, you know, And then, yeah, and the Dark Thaumaturgy, it's like regular thaumaturgy, except you make a Faustian bargain with a demon. It's...
I mean, I'm in for that.
Yeah. On top of... It's extra taboo for the Tremere to do, because on top of it being thaumaturgy, which is also already just kind of taboo in its own ways, Dark Thaumaturgy is kind of a way for you to cheat. Because a lot of thaumaturgy, you're supposed to be, it's very hermetic magic insofar as you have to like do the study and know the rites and know how to do the symbols, and it's a lot of study. It's very like D&D wizard coded,
Yeah,
in a way. And then Dark Thaumaturgy is you do a little ritual and cut a deal with a demon, and then the demon does the work for you, and then you got all these magic powers and so Tremere don't like it, because not only just you're dealing with a demon and that's dangerous and stupid, but it's also like, now you're cheating.
yeah.
It's like, on top of fucking with a demon, you're cheating. Like, get fucked.
I like
so-
that. They're more upset, just like, I don't care that you did this. You just did it the wrong way.
Yeah. Just very much the scene, and it's just like, plagiarist. Yeah, because it's essentially, yeah, you could be doing plagiarism technically, where it's like, yes, I've done this research and the study. It's like, no, you didn't. You gave a demon a handy. Like, the fuck? It's like fucking your professor to get an A. So,
Lord
Except
knows
your
I would
professor has
never do
bat
that.
wings.
Lord
and-
damn. Hunter, that's a wild take in the studio. Holy shit. So that's all the different that's how vampires deal with ghost stuff. So the types of undead I find really interesting and what, because, and this is just another, I think it's just maybe me caring about semantics too much. Ghouls are mechanically argued to be mortals, humans alive. They're just kind of like touched by undeath.
Mhm.
And then vampires are constantly written in the material that they are dead,
Mhm.
but that doesn't make sense if necromancy is the power of the living wielded over the dead. I'm like, well, if the vampire's also dead, that wouldn't work.
Right.
So what the fuck?
Maybe the un part of the dead is what makes it work.
Yeah, they're like half
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah, and it's also something that I find, like, especially now because we have the book that lets you build and sell a characters, I think you could get into some interesting plot or semantic arguments with characters where you have older vampires that they're so used to the concept of life and death being tied in with the heart. They're like, well, my heart doesn't beat anymore, so therefore I am dead. And then you get more modern vampires where, because science, we tie the cutoff for life and death based off of like brainwave activity.
Mm-hmm.
So more modern people be like, I'm fucked up clearly, but I'm still alive because I'm thinking and conscious, and I'm still able to like feel pain and, you know, interact with the world.
So how does that work for like the whole blank bodies thing? Because we wouldn't, like, the vampiric brain wouldn't show up on a brain scan, would it? If it doesn't, if they don't show up on like MRIs and metal or like heat detectors, all the other stuff, you would think,
Yeah.
like if you were doing a CAT scan or whatever it is, or you can watch the brain activity go all over itself, it would just be gray.
Yeah, but vampires are still able to like think and feel and enact their will on things.
Yeah.
So
I guess I'm just trying to
Yeah.
figure like it's
Yeah.
a fun conversation. I'm thinking like in
Oh,
my brain,
yeah.
I'm thinking like it's the vampiric blood just kind of pushes the will of said vampire,
Mm-hmm.
and the like brain might not be working. It's just the will itself doing the thing.
Yeah, because
But
in the
that's
world of
much more
darkness
woo woo.
cosmology, the soul exists.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah. So
Exactly.
you're just like,
So
what
like
the
the body is dead, but the will still is alive. And so like the
Yeah,
living will is the necromantic power or something.
all of that gets to back to the Bali. Now,
Damn it. I thought we escaped.
well, we've talked about the Bali in Old Wad in the Salubri episodes because they're very tied in with each other because Saulot's a deadbeat dad.
Yeah.
Check those episodes out. There you go. I've done my podcaster plug.
Mhm.
Yay.
Yeah, but with Tattered Facades, they've given us information for running the Bali as antagonists, and I think there's enough information where if you wanted to have a player character Bali, I think you could, but there's not like direct rules for it.
Mhm.
But I really like the change up for the new Bali because I think it lends again to more like eldritch horror, which is something I enjoy a lot.
Me too.
Yes. So if you go to Tattered Facade pages 142 through 145, that's where all the Bali information is. But basically, these are vampires that have listened to the whispers within their own blood for too long and have given up on too much and have become something wrong.
Mm.
They got lost in the sauce, quite literally. There is the ancient kind of spirits that exist in the world and also exist in vampire vitae. They get referred to as apilu, which is an old Akkadian
Appeal.
word. Basically, with the new Bali, the apilu basically takes over the soul and the consciousness of the blood sorcerer, and you can kind of there's enough room literaturely where it's like whether it's a like full possession or if it's like a get out situation where the person exists in the underneath
Mm-hmm.
kind of but not really, or they've been fully taken over and consumed, or if the two consciousnesses have merged together into a whole new entity. You can decide that. Whatever's scarier for your plot, honestly. But this entity becomes something that it's very akin to a white, except it is sane and intelligent and can plot, scheme, and destroy entire cities because that's just what it wants to do.
Hmm. So that kind of like adds a little bit more
Yeah.
to when we were talking about whites, where we were talking about how some whites are a little bit more schemy. This kind of pushes that a little bit further aside, where it's like if it's schemy, it's
Yeah.
probably more an Apilu. Is that right?
If it get yeah,
Where
if it
a white
gets
is
if
just going to
it's
run through the streets, ripping people's throats out and headbutting people to death.
yeah,
An Apilu might take a week or two to plan like a mass shooting or something.
yeah. Like the Bali, oh, it's beyond that. Like you might
Oh,
get
I'm
somebody
sure.
who's
I'm
on
just
the
using
way.
easy examples, you know.
Oh yeah, I would say that example you gave would be somebody who's like on the way of becoming a Bali because when you make these deals with the Apilu, a lot of them are very malevolent and they'll want you to make sacrifices of sorts. So it could
Okay.
be sacrifices of your own innocence, it could be blood sacrifices, it could be destructions of communities. So
Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
what you
Gotcha.
described as somebody that would probably be very low humanity on the way of becoming a Bali. The Bali is like one step beyond what you've said in the way
Gotcha.
it's described in literature, where I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
this is oh no. Uh, the way that it gets described in the book, and I think it's like extra horrifying, is a Bali is basically the blood is wearing your body as a skin suit.
Ooh, I like that.
Intriguing.
And
I am really
it's
just a bag of blood.
yeah, and they've lost all sense of humanity and ability to person.
Cool.
And any of them that do interact with people and scheme and those kinds of things, it's like pure sociopathic, like they're putting on a mask. It's it's like Hannibal Lecter plus is the best way to
Yeah.
describe it. And you're just like, I'm like, oh, this is who I love this as an antagonist. This is fantastic. Um these Bali, just so everyone knows, they're immune to terror frenzies.
Whoa.
They're immune to fury frenzies,
Okay.
and they also cannot suffer the penalties of a bestial failure.
Is because they're pretty much always in a bestial failure?
Well, it's
Yeah.
because Yeah, it's because they're basically the beast or whatever.
They're not failing because they're losing control to the beast, because the beast already has control.
Right. Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. Which I'm like, oh, that's spooky.
Mhm.
They also take less damage from sunlight and fire.
Interesting.
Yeah, because they're described as very cold. Like it's harder for them to rouse the blood to do blush of life. Like they have to do
Mm.
extra rouse rolls. And it the way it's described, they're very tied in with oblivion.
Okay.
So because they are just so cold and detached, like it is harder for fire and sunlight to actually affect them, which I'm like, hold
Also,
on.
fucking what?
That's also terrifying.
They are
What do
so
you
cold
mean?
and disconnected that fire is like, yeah, well, maybe I won't.
Yeah, which I'm like, that's spooky. No one likes
Yeah.
that. These Bali also seem very interested in collecting and converting Malkavians, Duskborn, and anyone who claims to have any ties to the antediluvian. That seems to be some of their favorite activities.
I can kind of see Malkavians. Why Duskborn? Is it just because they're already so like disenfranchised and kind of vulnerable to it? Okay.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you got anybody who's like studying like Nodism, or you get a Ventrue who's very like into their bloodline and their lineage, or anybody who's been worshipping or giving kind of devotations to like Methuselah's.
They're like, oh, we know you. Come here.
Oh, you have interest in the ancient power of your blood. Interesting. We should talk.
I can teach
And
you
I'm
about
like,
it.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
This feels so good for like a minister too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, oh, you've been studying blood sorcery? Let me show you some blood sorcery. Come here real quick.
Yeah.
We just gotta make a
Set
quick
totally
deal.
defeated the Dark Snake. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
absolutely.
It's right. It's a nightmare. And these Bali are also said to have particular glee and enjoyment of harming and harassing the Banu Hakim and the Salubri specifically.
Oh, you know.
Which is extra funny because it's like, well, if the Banu Hakim have the magic where they're able to commune with spirits, including making wards, and the Banu Hakim have had a whole, like, their whole shtick, so much of their shtick is, we're here to fight the demons.
Yeah.
Yeah, surprisingly, the demon guys are like, I don't like that guy.
Let's
like
fuck with him.
Yeah. That's like, I could kill him, but you know what would be really funny?
We could burn down his library.
Burn down his library and convince everybody around him to abandon him so he's alone.
Yeah, because he burned down his library. I'm thinking small right now. I understand. We're gonna keep working bigger. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna do the big things, and then I'm gonna put him in a room alone for months because I want to see when this man breaks.
Personally, I think we should fill it with water first because he's not gonna drown. We'll just see how long it takes him to melt.
Yeah, just the wonders of modern society are fascinating. Have you heard of expanding foam?
Whoa.
We don't have to get into that right now. So that's vampire stuff. That's stuff that I will argue till my dying day that vampires are alive asterisks, even though so much of the text is like vampires are dead. They are dead. They are completely dead. They are the dead. But then they keep getting powers and abilities and the way they interact with other things in the world, where I'm just like, they have to be alive for that to work. What?
Yeah, at least partially.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm here for them being liminally alive. The liminal spaces, like the back rooms. The kids love the back rooms, right? I'm old enough I can say that. The kids.
Skibbity.
6, 7. Anywho, so there's creatures and entities that are just meat. These are things that usually the Hekata will generate, but they exist in the world. So there's mindless corpses. These are bodies that will animate and follow a single command until the task is completed, or the entity just rots away and physically cannot complete the task anymore.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Can these, I assume, since mindless is in the word there, I assume they're not like disturbed if they are unable to complete their task. They just continue trying.
Yep.
If it's like, beat down that door, too bad that door is made of metal and you have meat for fists. They just keep going until they no longer have arms, essentially.
Oh, and if they don't have arms, they'll keep going and they'll like slam their bodies into it, kick at it, gnaw at the door. Like they'll go until they physically can't.
Right. But they have no emotion about it. They can't be like, fuck, man, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's just doing it because that's what they do. This is what
It's
it
a
does.
robot. It's a meat robot.
It's a meat robot. Yeah, which is
Okay.
not horrifying at all to witness. I think there could be some really good. This creature existing in the game could lead to some really interesting horror things if you want to just sprinkle those into your games. Of just like, yeah, like some just the corpse of some poor fuck just being stuck doing a task like it cannot complete and it cannot interact or decide to do anything else.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, oh, that's for
File
me.
this
That's
paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
File this
Dig
paperwork.
hole.
It's an entire like fucking warehouse of receipts.
That might even be too intellectual of a task. I don't know, depending on how you're filing the paperwork.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think
If
you
it's
could get
just
these guys to do your taxes. You know what I mean? Like,
no. No, but if they're like picking up box, moving it to warehouse, picking up box, they're gonna keep doing that until they run out of box, or they run out of its ability to do that.
Do zombies create lactic acid?
I don't,
Because that's what damages your muscles, right? That's what like really tears them up a lot.
Yeah, if
Hunter,
they're
correct me if I'm wrong here.
decomposing, yes. Yeah, if they're decomposing, then yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so just imagine the process of human decomposition, but it's also digging a hole. Just it is falling out, like parts of its body is just falling out of its body into the hole, and it's like scooping that out with a shovel and chucking it out with the rest of the dirt because it has no concept of
That's me.
that is itself. Yeah. it's if you cast the ritual good, some of your mindless corpses will continue to do work after the first task. So good job.
Hey.
Mindless corpses cannot be manipulated by commands from anyone other than a creator, and this also includes mental discipline, so you cannot use dominate or presence or any of that to like tell it to do other things.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So if you get player characters that are just like, I use dominate to solve all my problems, and not
Good
here.
luck, pal.
Good luck. Yeah, so that's I'm like, that's a little spooky. And then the next spooky one is the homuncular servant. This is a animated body part, either animal, human, or some horrifying wombo combo of the two.
I love it.
nice.
And all it does, a manimal. Exactly. A man bear pig, if you will, if you so desire. These beings are unfailingly loyal to their creators, and they're only active within 100 yards/meters of the creators. Otherwise, it's like inanimate, just kind of slumped over. And then if you're in the zone, it'll pop up and function.
That's interesting.
So if you see one, that means the guy who's controlling it is nearby.
Unless it's slumped.
Yes.
I want a goose.
A homuncular goose.
Terrifying.
It could, yes. A goose that is undyingly loyal to its creator.
Oh no.
Oh no. So I did want to bring up the fact that these homuncular entities are not true homunculi. It was driving me insane, and I went down a rabbit hole, and I'm sorry, everyone. So homunculi are a concept that come from the medieval to early Renaissance about making a pseudo-human through alchemy.
Yeah.
Historical accounts of homunculi refer to all homunculi being it's a fully formed person. They're just tiny.
They're little guys.
Little
They
guys.
can fit in my pocket.
Some of them, yeah. Some of them are just,
a few feet
small
tall.
person. Yeah. The earliest works referring to homunculi come from alchemist Jabir ibn Hayya, who, fun fact, is one of the first people to classify chemical compounds in the historical records, and is also one of the earliest people to discover that chemical reactions result in the chemical reaction having a balance.
That's cool.
So, yeah, early alchemy is just people slapping shit together and then going, oh, I have discovered science.
Yay.
Yeah.
'Tis magical science.
Yes. And then there's also Paracelsus, who is known as the father of toxicology.
I like him.
Yeah.
That's neat.
I have a segment from his book where he talks about making a homunculi. Do one of you guys want to read it?
Okay.
Yeah.
The sperm of a man may be purified by itself
Putrefied.
Oops, putrefied. You're right. The sperm of a man be putrefied by itself in a sealed cucurbit for 40 days in the highest degree of with the highest degree of putrefaction in a horse's womb, or at least so long that it comes to life and moves itself and stirs, which is easily observed. After this time, it will look somewhat like a man, but transparent, without a body. If, after this, it is fed wisely with the arcanum of human blood, it can be nourished for up to 40 weeks and be kept alive in the even heat of the horse's womb. A living human, oh Jesus Christ, this is so long. A living human child grows their form, and all this members like another child which is born of a woman, but much smaller. So you put you into a gourd, you let it
Yeah.
putrefy for 40 days, and then you plop that in a horse, and
A
then you
horse
feed
womb, yeah.
then you feed the horse blood, or do you like give the
you-
horse a blood enema? I mean,
it's more of a blood enema.
Okay, that's what I was
Because you got to
thinking.
feed the
Okay.
child, not the horse.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess maybe no umbilical cord there.
Yeah, there's no umbilical
Yeah.
cord.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I found this historical account from this book that this man wrote and was like, all the necromantic rituals now make sense.
Yeah.
And also slight tie-in with Frankenstein a little bit. In the novel Frankenstein, it's the process of the creation of the creatures left very ambiguous. It was just decided kind of by fan rewrites of Frankenstein that the creature was created through the power of slapping a body together and whacking electricity into it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a really good chance that Dr. Victor Frankenstein jerked off into a horse womb and then just kind of did this instead.
Damn.
Which, if that was,
I think he's a little bit less of a doctor in that case.
he's an alchemist.
I mean, maybe
It's
he's
fine.
maybe he's a vet.
He's practicing the alchemical
Are you
sciences.
saying vets
It's
are not a
fine.
type of doctor?
No, I'm saying they're just a different kind of doctor, but I don't think he's dealing with humans. Like, he's not a human doctor.
Yeah, it just
That is
I
not
don't
a
know,
human
when
doctor thing to do.
Yeah, I don't know. When I read this, my brain started slapping together plot points from The Lighthouse with plot points from Del Toro's Frankenstein, and I was like, I need to not.
I gotta stop.
I gotta stop. So then there's also aggressive corpses, which these are bodies that are prepared with a much more intense ritual involving a human sacrifice. So you have bodies, you could use multiple bodies at the ritual if you want. And then you gotta kill a guy on top of that. So you're dealing with people who are doing fucked up shit.
Yeah.
When you see these. The corpses are far more robust than the mindless corpses, and they remain up and moving unless dismissed by their creator or their creator dies.
Okay.
Which maybe has led to humans being confused on, like, we have to kill the parent vampire.
Right.
And it's like, nah, that was just humans dealing with Hakata.
Whoops.
Whoopsie poodles. Aggressive corpses don't decay, and they can also respond to intruders independently and attack anyone who is not their creator unless instructed otherwise.
Oh, dang.
Mhm,
So you got to word yourself carefully if you're planning on having guests over.
Yeah. Just assume all of your corpses are Amelia Bedelia. Except they will not bake a pie to solve the problem. They will only hit things with their fists.
Okay, yeah.
And if I remember right, aggressive corpses can do ag damage, which sucks.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't fuck around with these. Or do.
Yeah.
It's your game. These corpses are also immune to dominate and other mental manipulations. They can follow more complex commands, like if-then statements. So I wouldn't trust these guys to file your taxes. But if you're asking them to, like, hey, I need you to sort these files. If it's a blue folder, it goes here. If it's a green folder, it goes here. They could do that. So it's an intern. It's an intern.
Gotcha.
They couldn't do your taxes, but
they could prep them for you.
Yes. And I did want to note that if you're playing a Hakata that wants to have an aggressive corpse be like one of their, like a pet or like a servant butler kind of a character, long-term aggressive corpses should be backed up with retainer dots, according to the books.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the corpse may become unruly.
I like that.
Yeah, so if you have a guy that's like,
it's its teenage phase and becomes rebellious.
You don't have enough badges to control this Pokemon. Essentially. It's like, well, I also think that could be a fun moment of a character having to deal with their own hubris because it's like, oh yeah, no, I can create these things. I'm the master of blah, blah, blah. And then the corpses start acting up because he didn't spend the time to like lock it in.
I
And
like
then
it.
it's like, I've been foisted by my own petard. So
Dang.
those are the options that are just meat, nothing else is going on. Then there's the definitely souls, and this gets annoying, and I apologize because it drove me
boy.
insane. So there are spirits.
Got it.
Spirits
is-
are
I'm
that's-
guessing like what you think when you actually hear the word ghost.
yeah, kinda. It's annoying. So spirits are disembodied entities originating typically from the Umbra. So spirits, basically think of them in terms of like animism with plants, animals, rocks, various concepts being entities.
hmm
So you could have the spirit of Christmas.
Oh no.
If you personify your computer enough, it could start having its own opinions on things.
That's cute.
A crow spirit grants you insights and little trinkets. So if it's a disembodied entity that doesn't have an origin from a body, usually it's a spirit.
Got it.
Which gets confusing and annoying because you'll have like, oh, there's a bear spirit or a rat spirit, and you're like, well, those had bodies, and I'm like, yeah, but those spirits are more like the concept of that creature, not so much that creature itself.
Right.
Which is why I had to bring up the mage bullshit, and I probably should have talked about werewolf more, but I didn't want to make the episode more complicated than it's already being, because we're talking about race. Because and this is where it gets annoying. When you read the necromancy or the stuff in Oblivion with the Oblivion rituals or ceremonies, it will use the term spirit and wraith interchangeably.
Annoying.
Yes, but then also the book will also say that vampires cannot interact with spirits, and then there's all the stuff with spirits for werewolf, and then there's stuff for spirits within like Hunter for 5th edition.
There's a lot
And
of
then
spirits.
and then when we get into mage, there's going to be more of that shit because you personify your car enough, it will have its own spirit, and then you can interact with it and use your sphere magic to become best friends with your car.
Ooh, Knight Rider kind of situation.
Yeah, that's completely a valid thing to happen. So I just wanted to give those caveats that some of these terms will be used interchangeably, but they're technically not the same. So you have to put on your thinky cap. You gotta use your reading comprehension.
God damn it.
I know, I'm so sorry. So, wraiths. Wraiths are specifically the soul of a dead person who takes on a physical form. They typically exist in the Shadowlands, and they remain in this kind of liminal state due to their ties to something in the Skinlands, usually through one or more fetters that keep them from processing their own death. And this does mean, yes, a vampire can become a wraith.
Nice.
So, if you have a character that has final death, but you don't want the character to completely go away, if they have actual unfinished business, you can just make them a wraith character in your game.
Or someone can make them stick around.
Yeah. So,
You have a whole
It's-
plot line where a character dies, you keep one of their fetters, and then just wait
Mhm.
until you get the ritual to put them back in another body.
mhm.
Because you're like, oh man, you're my best
Mhm.
bud. I don't want you to be dead. So you're going to be stuck to this ring. I'm going to wear it. And when I'm ready, I'm going to take you out of this ring. I'm going to put you in a dead guy.
We're just
A
shopping for
plus.
the right body.
Yeah.
Going to nightclubs. Body shopping. Which, that is entirely a viable campaign. That is an
Yeah.
entire chronicle right there. So just a slight refresher, because we have talked about some of this stuff in the Abyss episode. I talked about some of this cosmology in more detail, but quick refresher. Skinlands, that's our world. It's the stuff you can touch, see. It's where we live. Shadowlands is a layer of reality that exists as a kind of necro-reflection of our world with some of its own unique warpings that are specific to that setting. So it's very I'm forgetting the video game, son of a bitch. Silent Hill. If you've played a Silent Hill, Shadowlands, you get it. The Shroud or the Veil
Is it
as
as
it's referred
scary
to.
and as violent as
Yes.
Silent Hill there? Yeah, I figured.
Depends.
Some of it, yeah, some of it I would say is worse, depending on what you're dealing with.
Bet.
So the Shroud/Veil is the barrier between these two realities, and it becomes thicker or thinner due to various other factors, and that is something that, if you play a Hakata character, you can specialize in studying if you so desire. Woohoo. A fetter is typically an object, sometimes a location or a person, that is tied to the wraith, and that's what ties the wraith to the living world.
Okay.
Cool. And then there's also plasm, which is fun. It's also ectoplasm. This is the substance that makes up everything in the Shadowlands. Plasm both exists as a solid and a liquid state. It is a metaphysical substance, so it's not made out of atoms. It's just a thing that exists. All plasm is made up from the bodies of wraiths and can be reshaped through processes known as either soul forging or molate.
That doesn't sound pleasant.
Which is, moilate is basically ghost flesh crafting, but it only works on plasm.
Okay.
So yeah, everything in the Shadowlands is made out of wraiths.
That building over there.
Made out of
Made
wraiths.
out of wraiths.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so it's...
This sandwich. It's made out of wraiths.
Yeah, I mean, wraiths mostly subsist off of emotions and energy, but like that's... Yeah, if there's a sandwich for some reason in the Shadowlands, it is made of wraiths.
All right,
Through
bad.
plasm. I don't know why somebody would soul forge a sandwich.
Maybe there's a mage over there and it got hungry.
Maybe
Hey,
they have
who
a lot
knows?
of emotions tied to that specific sandwich.
That's true. This was the sandwich I had before my father died. It's a pastrami on rye. So, wraiths typically manifest their body as a reflection of their living self, sometimes reflecting something of their own death, or some manifestation of their mental, emotional, spiritual struggles via what is known as death marks. And the death marks are what separate the wraiths into their different political factions.
Oh,
Wraith society is very hierarchical. I do not have time to get into that. We'll do a whole wraith episode later. But
okay.
that's why some wraiths will look like just a guy, and that's why other wraiths will look like a guy who was in a car accident. Or you get a wraith that like is twisted slightly in a way where it's like a symbolic meaning for having to process some sort of psychic or mental emotional problem.
Hmm.
You can get creative with it if you so desire. It's like, why is that ghost shaped like a minotaur? It's like, oh, because he had repressed homosexuality. What? Don't worry about it. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole.
The psyche, it is. The psyche of a wraith is split into two sides. There is the actual psyche, which is what is their mortal moral sense of self.
Okay.
And then they get the shadow, which is the manifestation of their negative aspects that has metaphysical ties to the labyrinth and seeks to erode the psyche. The labyrinth, for those who do not remember, is the layer of reality in the Shadowlands, below the Shadowlands and the Tempest itself, that surrounds the physical manifestation of oblivion known as the Well of the Void. The labyrinth is the bad place.
People love to hang out. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. There's because the labyrinth is chaos and destruction manifested in many ways. There's a lot of analogies between the labyrinth and like Dante's Inferno. You can see like lots of depictions of hell are reflected in the labyrinth, and it's hard to tell in the World of Darkness whether or not that's the labyrinth is shaped like that because that's what people think hell is, or if people have seen that shit and then they went, oh, I gotta write that down.
So it's
Who knows?
Could be a bit of both.
Yeah.
It's a which came first situation.
Yeah, which that shit's very metal and cool, and there's a bunch of cool shit in there. If you're playing a game with Hakata and you're getting that lost in the sauce, I really have a lot of questions about your chronicle.
Sounds
Like, how'd we get here? Hell yeah. All right, so with that understanding, all wraith, and I think that's important to bring up these little baseline things about wraiths, because with Hakata, there's a lot of things about you summoning and manipulating and controlling wraiths. So I think having this kind of base information will hopefully help players and storytellers roleplay the wraiths a little bit more fully, I guess, or give information for like, hey, if you're trying to manipulate this wraith, what kind of things do you need to know about like their mental and emotional state and how they think? Or, you know, are you worried you're going to lose this wraith you spent all this time invested in to like their shadow, and now you have to be like, oh fuck, I have to help this guy rediscover who he is, otherwise I'm gonna lose this really helpful dude. Damn it. I don't know, I just think it's really funny to take very moody Hekata characters and be like, hey, you need to reignite the spark of joy and creation in this wraith you controls, or you're gonna lose this asset.
Figure it out.
And they're just like, ah, damn it, I have to Jiminy Cricket this motherfucker. So, With that, there are also various types of wraiths depending on their level of self-awareness, because there's a bunch of people who become wraiths, but they're known as drones, where it's the very kind of classic ghost situation where it's like repeating an event over and over again, but it's not self-aware. Um,
Almost like an after image,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
conscious.
Yeah, those wraiths, if they get discovered in the Shadowlands by other wraiths, they get picked up and then shoved into a Soul's Forge for resources.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
I
fucked
mean, I
up.
guess they don't really have any consciousness, do they? Wait, no, they do.
No.
They're just
Yeah,
stuck
but
in the.
no.
They have the consciousness
No.
that they were experiencing in that moment, and that's it,
Yeah.
right? So if they were like, if
Yeah.
they got hit by a train and they saw the train coming, they're just
Mhm.
kind of constantly in terror before the smack.
Yeah. So it could be argued they're doing them a kindness, but there's also wraiths are capable of like some wraiths are capable of breaking through that and gaining consciousness. It's complex. It's the whole fucking thing. So morally dubious asset collection. Morally dubious asset collection in my World of Darkness game, never. So on top of the self-awareness, there's also issues about character race being overcome by anger, despair. If you're too full of the negative emotions, you can immediately become something else, or it's confusing. There's a lot of options. Apparently,
Ghost
death is
Zone.
complex. The ghost zone, exactly. There is a small list of types of race that can cross back over into the Skinlands, because there's some race who can just do that on their own. If you want those resources, if you go to the Cults of Blood Gods page 216, 217, there are 4 that they give some info on for you to use in 5th edition. There is the Puppeteer, which they like to possess weak-willed people and just ride their bodies. That's their favorite activity. Poltergeists, they like to cause mischief or trouble for the living, and they're often very misanthropic. Like, they're not always super evil, malevolent. They just like causing chaos for various reasons. Could just be a little scamp, could be a little prank bro, could be somebody that's like processing the nobody ever loved me, so now I'm gonna make you suffer. Have fun with that. Yeah. Screamers, yep, that's what they do.
They just yell.
They yell, screech, scream. Sometimes it's like horrifying, sometimes it's cries for help. There's a wide spectrum of options. These are ghosts that could also, or wraiths that could also just be like parroting sounds that they hear in the Skinlands, because they're actually able to manifest some sort of interaction with the living. Typically, the way we experience these sounds is there's some sort of horrifying, pained, angry, something. But screamers, when they're in the Shadowlands, they actually have like very beautiful melodic voices, and they're put at akin to like sirens.
Interesting.
So if you want to have a Hakata character that is like dealing with a screamer, but then they are able to perceive them in the Shadowlands, they realize that the wraith is actually like a famous local jazz singer. Do you want to do a David Lynch plot? You could, that's viably an option. And then there's also Ghost in the Machine, is how it's referred to in the book. I would maybe try to find a different term, because that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
But these are wraiths that like to possess objects. They can be helpful. Sometimes they're just a gigantic pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could
like
have
how
a wraith
the one
that's
in
just...
my machine doesn't like Zoom.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah. You could have a ghost that, lives in your computer or lives in your toaster, or likes
Lives
to
in your
possess
toaster.
Yeah.
Gets pissed off at you and your toast is always overburnt.
Or underdone and it never gets actually toasted.
Yes.
It's still soft. It's like a sponge. It's been in there for 20 minutes.
And you're just like, the fuck? Why are you like this? It's like, and you're like, I was trying to be nice and make breakfast for my ghoul. This is bullshit. So there's a lot of options with those that I think beyond vampire, you can take that into werewolf or hunter, and hopefully mage when that comes out. We'll find out, I suppose. Though I feel like if a changeling got a hold of the haunted toaster, they would just be like, this is my friend now.
Yeah.
Don't worry about him.
Well, then it might work if you treat him well.
It's true.
If you weren't a fucking asshole.
Fantastic. And then I did want to note specters, because specters are statted out as an antagonist in the core book.
Oh.
So specters are a specific type of wraith These are wraiths that have fully given up on their connections to life and their old sense of self and fallen into their shadow completely, completely or almost completely. They lose their senses of self and they become these malevolent, cruel, and sometimes just flat out evil entities.
Hmm.
But they also exist as a hive mind that serves Oblivion.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they
it's
kind of
funky.
have their own personality and will, but also kind of like Malkavians, where like they're all
Kinda.
connected, but they all have their own personalities and whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's like evil Malkavians.
got it.
I guess it's the best way to kind of summarize that problem. But specters do have basically the inverse of a wraith. So a wraith has their core personality and then the shadow that's constantly trying to undermine them and get them to like fall into oblivion and be an angry evil fuck. If you become a specter and you have that kind of character, that character has the inverse, so their main personality is the shadow, and then they might have a remnant of their psyche that's like, hey, remember when you had hope and love and things? Remember when you were a good person and people loved you?
No.
Yeah. So could have a game where there's like a specter, which is, if you're dealing with a specter that's powerful enough to like just be in the skit lands, that's a problem. That's a big problem.
Kind of cool though.
But it could be cool, could have a cool story arc where somebody is able to identify, oh, that specter is the remnant of so and so who somebody in the party has a connection to, and they go, hey, remember me, remember something fun that they did. You can have the moment of like them slowly starting to kind of come back to themselves, and then a horror moment. Lots of story potential there. But fun note for the specters: specters find home within the chaos of the labyrinth, and some even have the ability to manipulate things in the world through oblivion. So they kind of have oblivion themselves, which is something wraiths technically can't do, really.
I guess
And
if they're like supposed to be the big bad spooky servants of Oblivion, it would make
yeah,
sense that Oblivion is like, you can also use me, bud.
yeah. So you could have a really fucked up moment where characters start seeing shadows being bent and manipulated, and things very similar to like Arms of Erebon, but worse. And people go, oh, this is a big bad La Sombra. And then they realize, oh no, it's a specter, which is worse because we can't touch it. It's like, what?
Whoops.
Yeah, because fun fact with wraiths and specters, because they don't exist in physical bodies, you can't hit them with mundane weapons, much like Dungeons and Dragons.
What do you,
So
I
it's
mean, like,
bullshit.
other than finding some sort of, artifact, which are difficult to find? It's not like Dungeons
Yes.
and Dragons where you just go to your first level dungeon, you get a +1/+1 sword, or +1/+1,
Yeah.
lol, +1 sword. It's like, how do you fight them? Magic?
See, this is how the Hakata have a corner on the market.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Or you have to go find a priest, but then that's a whole other problem with
Because
vampires.
he might be a La Sombra.
Well, the priest might be a La Sombra, or the priest might be a hunter, and you're like, okay, we
Yeah.
need to get rid of this ghost. I've called in a priest. We all have to make sure this priest does not realize we are vampires while he gets rid of this ghost.
So I need to put my face back how it was.
While the priest is over, yeah.
Push his mandibles back into cheeks.
But yeah, so kind of adding to the extra horrors for specters though really quick. Because they are of the labyrinth and of oblivion and they live there and that's their favorite spot, they can also sense the darkness and death and like how close somebody is to death within various entities. So a specter could show up, and this could be a way to fuck with a player that has like lost a lot of humanity, is have a specter show up and go, yes, I see you are much like me. We should work together.
That's not what you want to hear.
No, you don't.
I mean, I guess unless it is what you want to hear, but
yeah. Which that should be extra spooky for folks because specters have this angry, violent tie with oblivion. Most specters don't have a lot of longevity unless they are an extraordinarily like powerful, willful entity. So specters are not a joke. These are actually problem characters. Specters also have a harder time traversing through the shroud due to how tied they are to oblivion. So if a specter is on the other side of the veil, that's a problem. This is either a really
they got some
powerful
serious
entity.
business.
yeah, either this is a very powerful entity or somebody put a lot of power into getting this thing over here.
Mm-hmm.
That's and
You have a
I
really
really
cool,
think,
real quick story arc of haunted house that
yeah,
Spectre's tied to.
mm-hmm.
That'd be neat.
Could be neat.
Probably very normal, but still neat.
Yeah. Well, it's like, if the spoiler alerts for Bloodlines 1, but there's the whole haunted house sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a good way of showing the power and the high strangeness that a specter could have on a location.
Right.
But I really think specters should, when they're in the material world, be something that is truly horrifying, because not only can it not be harmed through mundane means, it's something that's also fueled by the like pure malevolence and destruction and the concept of entropy itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's something that is powerful enough to bump back into the skin lands. I'm like, that's I don't know. I feel like at least the description for Spectre in the 5th edition core book for Vampire, I don't think quite has the right amount of oomph, considering when you actually learn about Spectres, you go, oh, this should be way worse than what's in here.
Mm-hmm.
So make it worse, guys. Make it as horrifyingly bad as possible, please.
Yeah, the afterlife
problem.
The afterlife in World of Darkness probably shouldn't be pleasant.
No, it should not. Because it's like,
World
this
of Darkness, where everyone's fucked. A+.
Yeah, A+. So yeah, that's death and undying and the ghosts that exist in WoD, like the baselines that we have for 5th edition, and I'm excited for this to get expanded out more.
That is neat. I like the idea. I'm just
Yeah.
like, my brain is running through things that would be cool descriptors for specters now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because they're supposed to be so otherworldly and whatnot.
Yeah, and this otherworldly high strangeness with the ghosts and spirits and the like undead corpses is what the Hecata are dealing with regularly. So I think that can translate into characters that have a lot of high strangeness themselves. It might be part of the reason why they're kind of isolated in their own little faction. It's like we have the Sabbat, we have the Camarilla, we have the Anarchs, and then whatever the fuck those guys are doing.
Those fucking weirdos over there.
Yeah. And we'll get into more of those details this month. Hopefully, it's gonna be more than a month. It's gonna be more than a month. There's so much shit going on. Oh my god. So yeah. I have discussed with the lads. We've agreed we're gonna have a poll up for the patrons to decide what order the bloodlines are going to be discussed in. To keep it somewhat simple, it's going to be a ranked choice vote, so whichever faction comes splitting them up into thematic regions. So what the group I'm going to lovingly call the Italian Job is going to be one faction, and then there's the Hecata from that mostly exist in the Americas, and then there's kind of a chunk of the Hecata that are kind of based off of mythological beings.
Cool.
So that's kind of the 3 factions, and we're going to cover those in the order of what gets the most votes. And so that poll will be up
soon.
This episode or next episode?
I dare
should
you
be
to
up
vote.
With this one. Should
Okay,
be up
sick.
with this one just so we can get it out.
Yeah, because I have to do so much reading and research, and oh my god. So we appreciate y'all on that. And I guess end of the episode, small announcement. We, for our sanity sake, we are going to be going back down to 3 episodes a month, because all 3 of us, we love doing this show. We do not make enough money to subsist off of the show, and because the patron numbers have gone down, we can't really afford to spend the amount of time in production to do 4 episodes a month and do the bonus episode. So hopefully everybody's understanding. We're not mad at all about folks taking care of themselves, because everything is really stupid outside of this little show that we're doing, and it's yeah. So we're gonna be going back down to the 3 episodes a month plus the bonus episode. We know we got a backlog on the Patreon episodes. We're gonna be getting that caught up. We appreciate everybody's understanding, and huzzah!
Yeah, we still exist in the Skinlands and have a lot of shit going on. So
yeah.
It's been a rough couple months, but thank you everybody for being sweet little baby everybody's.
Baby bats.
Baby bats. Baby biters. Tiny licks.
No. Don't be biting babies.
Not literally, like tiny little ones, you know?
Little homunculi just running around.
Yeah, they're so sweet.
Like
Yeah,
the
you
ones
know.
that fit in your pocket, okay.
Yeah, just pat
Yeah,
them on the little
yeah,
head.
yeah.
Pop, pop.
Damn
Gotta be
it!
gentle.
Now I
You'll
want to
break
watch
their
the gate.
spine.
Don't pet them too hard. You'll break their spine. Oh my god.
True.
Oh my
Honestly, it
god.
makes me want to watch Phantasm. I know that they're not
Dude,
homunculus, but I want to watch them anyway.
those movies are so good.
Yeah,
They're so
it's so
fucking good.
fucking weird.
They're so fucking good. Those movies are so weird that I watched them on Monster Vision with Joe Bob Briggs
Yeah,
as a child.
nice.
And then at school, when people are like, "What are your favorite movies?" I said Phantasm, and then I explained the movie, and no one believed me it was a real movie. This
'Cause
happened multiple times.
because it shouldn't be a real movie, but I'm so glad that it is.
I had the same thing happen with Big Trouble in Little China. I watched it on TV in the States, and then I went to school to explain this movie to my classmates, and everybody thought I was making it up. And I was like, no, it's real.
Dude, I got so disappointed. I was talking to somebody at work not too long ago, and there was a
Mhm.
dog that just had his nails were so viciously long. It was a problem, like
Aw.
starting to get into his paw pads and stuff. But
Aw.
somebody was becoming impatient because our screening team had to deal with that, right? And they were like,
Yeah.
hey, what's taking so long? And I was like, hey, I'm sorry. They're dealing with a dog that's a neglect case. It's got
Mhm.
well, I'll just put it nicely. It's got nails like the wizards in Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh.
And the person just looked at me with a blank face, like I had just broken into Romanian. And they were like, they went, okay. And I said, you've never seen that movie. And they said, what is that? And I said, never mind. I just went inside.
No. I was going to say, at that point, you just go, oh, pull out your phone, go to YouTube. You're welcome for the next 90 minutes. Because that movie's fucking great.
It is. It's wonderful.
Also, I guess technically that plot could be technically a Hakata movie too.
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fantastic. Okay. Thanks Paralyze for the music. You guys are great. We appreciate you. Um we do have social media stuff. One of my goals is to get better at doing the social media stuff. I took a hiatus on doing stuff because my life was also fucking insane. Clearly, I'm in a different fucking country now.
Hello.
No. Also, yeah, if anybody wants to do collab stuff with us, if you reach out to blankbodies at Gmail, happy to do that. If you're one of our community folks that's in the UK and wants to do a collab thing, I could actually talk to you in Meat Space about it right now. So.
Whoa.
Hey yo. Also we do have the patron. We appreciate everybody that's given us money to do the show. We still really like doing the show. It's been crazy. I think Hunter, have we crossed 100k downloads?
I believe so. Let me double check. We were getting really close before, and I haven't looked since
Since the Christmas. Yeah,
yes,
we
we
took
are
our
at 100.6k.
Oh shit. Hey yo, we've done it. Thank you everybody for listening to the show and enjoying it. Hopefully 2026 will be a fun year, at least for us in the show. I cannot promise outside of the show.
Oh, I'm gonna have fun.
Well, we're gonna be done with the clan episode, so then I can start doing deep dives on the random locations and NPC canonical characters. So that'll be fun because I have to do Aristotle after. Goddamn, Hecata. Fuck. Anyways,
Fun.
we appreciate y'all. Oh wait, what?
I said it's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun watching me go slowly insane. It's great.
Always is.
John, get us out of here, please.
Well, I have to signal things, don't I?
You do.
I love
I don't
you.
think the mic picked it up.
Oh, no, it doesn't? Hold on. Mwah.